Shaz here. We are going to do another to buy or not to buy in this video. These are videos where I talk about new makeup that has released or is about to release, and I try to talk myself out of buying them on camera, mainly focusing on eyeshadow, which is my favorite part of makeup. Hopefully in the process, I can also inspire you to use the makeup that you have instead of giving in to all this new makeup trends and chaos and all the buy that's going on out there. If that sounds good, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and let's get started. Okay, y'all, candle is peppermint frost because it smells so good and it's so wintry around here. Actually, it's not really. It's Austin and it's now 60 degrees outside. I also have some coffee, although it's kind of later in the day, but I'm so excited about the palette we're going to be doing my look with. This is my dupe of Chamonix Apres Ski Palette from Nomad. Yes, you all wanted me to dupe this. You had ranked this the highest on my community tab in the poll that I had. And we're going to do this. And there's some additional colors here. As you can see, it's not 15 shades, although the palette's just 15 shades. So in another video that is not up on my channel yet, I'm going to tell you what I'm using here. Okay, y'all, so much has released that I figured if I wait another day, I might no longer be able to fit everything in whatever 30 minutes that I try to keep these videos at. And let's start with this one, Tarte. I don't know what you're smoking, thinking this is an inclusive palette, because I can tell you it's not. This kind of palette is not even going to show up on my skin, probably. Y'all, Hollow Tacos, it's tea time. It's so beautiful and I'm so tempted, but I am trying to hold back from buying all these nails this year because I spent a lot of money on nails last year. And speaking of that, let me quickly mention to you all that I am wearing Norpsilocin as well as Psilocin, both from Clionadh, both extremely magnetic and gorgeous on my nails. I think the magnetic effect is best seen on my thumb. They're so pretty, and frankly, this was my favorite part of their Christmas release, and it is still available on their website. And now that we got into Clionadh already, let's continue with the 6 brand new nails that they are releasing. I mean, I think they've already released these. Yes, these released when they started the sale on the 24th. I have seen a lot of videos of this and I'm so tempted, and honestly, I decided not to go on Clionadh's website during the sale because I'm one of those people who it's hard for me to control myself when I see things like this, and I'm kind of a no buy. My no buy video is not up yet, but I've made a pact with myself that I'm not going to buy new things until I use everything I've purchased at least once, meaning I have to use all of the Clionadh nails that I've purchased so far at least once before I buy new ones, and there are a lot of them that I have not used yet, so I'm not on the market for Clionadh nail polishes. Let's quickly talk about a few sneak peeks that have not been revealed, at least at the time of filming. First one is Pastel Garden from Bella Beauté Bar. I feel like the name probably says it. This is probably going to be a pastel palette, and I'm not a pastel person, so not for me. But if you all want me to dupe any of these palettes, go ahead and write the request in the comments below. Another one is this one, Shattered Romance from DD's Signature, that hasn't been fully revealed at the time of me doing this video. Did I talk about this palette from Notoriously Morbid? I don't think I did. It's a cute palette, but all shimmers. This one reminded me of one of the releases last year from Terra Moons, the palette release. It kind of reminded me of that. Pretty, but not for me. And also this one from Fantasy Cosmetica. Pretty palette, but I feel like the era of monotone palettes is gone. Let me know what you think. I like to know what you all think. If you agree or disagree, write your perspective in the comments below. I feel like whoever wanted a monotone palette already owns one by now. But it's beautiful. And another thing, a very exciting thing about Fantasy Cosmetica is that its palettes are all magnetic. So definitely something you could pick up and just repurpose in your own creations, particularly some of these more dreamy multichromy types of shades. With this collection, as they always do, they're also releasing a few perfumes. Correction, it's just one perfume called The Monk, which I think is the name of the palette, and it has cherry blossoms, matcha, driftwood, and lemon. That could be a smell that I like, but I'm not on the market for perfumes. We already talked about Clionadh. I forgot to mention this. You all remember the quads that I showed in my video where I unboxed my Clionadh advent calendars for the holidays? If you haven't seen that video, I'm tagging it. They are releasing 2 new quads, and these are very, I was going to say season appropriate, but not for winter, but for the spring. So it's a good time to buy these if you want to use them in a month or so. I'm not going to go buy until I use the quads that I already have, and I'm so excited about the quads that I already have. The black one beauty is so beautiful. So beautiful. Let's continue to this one from Dia Verone. Y'all, this palette reminded me of something. I feel like I've seen this palette before. Can you all tell me what this palette looks like? And I'm asking, I really don't know. Was there like a Norvina palette maybe some years ago that looked like this? Or was there a palette that released a couple of years ago that looked like this? Anyway, I think this is a gorgeous palette for this time of the year, but $60 for 12 shades. I don't know if without a job is a price I can afford today, but it's pretty and it's available, and I could dupe this. Y'all, Touch of Glam is doing a few funky things. They're having What Are the Odds collection extended to have its part 3, which includes 6 new shades. My general opinion of Touch of Glam singles is that they're a little pricey, so definitely catch them when they're having a discount, and they usually have like sometimes 40% discounts, but definitely 30% discount I've seen. But they definitely have some collections that I consider super different. For example, their Color Me Multi collection I've talked about multiple times, and it's a collection of super metallic multichromes. I have not seen that level of metallicness, if that's even a word, with any other brand. They look like literally metal on your arm, swatched on your arms. We also have these releasing from Miko Beauty Shop for Valentine's Day. This is going to be a pre-order. You all know by now my opinion of pre-orders, but I do believe that when I am done with my no-buy, I would want to at some point pick up some singles from Miko Beauty Shop, because they do a lot of very exciting, sparkly, and shiny singles, and I've never tried their singles. Beauties, I have done at least one review of Miko Beauty Shop in my channel of one of their palettes. I love the multichromes in that palette. If you're curious about the brand, I'm gonna tag it for you all. You all remember me talking in my last To Buy or Not to Buy about Menacing Metals lipsticks coming from Unearthly? We now have swatches, and I am so taken by these 4, particularly the orange one. I don't know, I feel like I don't have anything. Okay, remove I feel like from that sentence. I don't have anything like that. The orange, so beautiful. Yeah, I want it. I want it, and maybe one day I'll buy this. It says these will launch in March, so not for Valentine's Day. Okay, y'all, we talked about Tarte. Let's also talk about Benefit, because they are releasing Bad Gal Bounce Volumizing Mascara. And beauties, I was one of the OG users of the OG Bad Gal mascara. I don't know if y'all remember. If you know, you know. But $30 for a mascara? I don't know. I'm still stuck on the price of eggs. So, and now that we talked about the Pastel Garden from Bella Beauté Bar, it seems like they've also restocked their Poison Garden, which I know was a lot of people's favorites from last year. My question to you all is, because I know I never asked this before, Do you all want me to dupe this? Okay, beauties, it seems like Viktor and Ralph is having a new perfume in their Flower Bomb collection. So I've been wearing the OG Flower Bomb, and I'm generally into perfumes and beauties. I bought a few perfumes when I went to Australia because each Australian dollars was equivalent to 60 US cents at that point in time, which meant I almost got 40% discount on everything I purchased. And I got a bunch of other discounts because it was around Christmas. So yes, I did a little bit of extra shopping, but you didn't hear that from me. But said all of that to say, I'm curious. I'm curious because I'm wearing the OG Viktor and Ralph. Okay, let me get started on the look before we're too much into this video. I'm going to use Eye-cing from GlamLite. This is in the shade Buttercream. Again, I try to use different kinds of bases for you all to be able to see how these bases perform perhaps over time. I've had this base for definitely over a year. And then also how they perform on a hooded eye like mine, aging eye like mine. For this video, I'm going to use some of my ColourPop eyeshadow brushes because I have realized I don't get to use them very often. But before getting into the look, let me quickly tell you about this new release, which is very Valentine's appropriate from Gourmand Girls. This one is called Bitten Palette, and it has, I love the packaging. Very cute. It's $55. Well, we just saw a $60 palette with 12 shades from Diaveron. This one has 14 shades. Now, I don't want to get into the how many ounce per shade and so on because I personally never hit pan on anything, so it doesn't matter. I just want variety. Even if pans are small, it might even be better for me. So I'm willing to pay more for a palette with more variety versus larger pans that I'm probably never gonna use. But of course, you do you. If you want to get into the mathematics of which one is more worth it per ounce, you can do that. Regardless, I still feel like $55 is also a little high, but more economical in comparison. And interestingly, the color story is very similar. Now, beauties, we are getting the Valentine's Day vibe, and we're gonna see a lot of similar palettes. Essentially variations of pinks and purples and reds, and you're gonna see some additional muted shades. We talked about muted shades last week, and we're gonna keep seeing them. Now, between Diaveron and Gourmand Girl, I like both qualities, so I can't tell you which one to go buy, but Diaveron also might be more pricey because Diaveron generally has multichromes. I've used at least one of their palettes, and it had a few multichromes in it. Regardless, both palettes are expensive for me, or more than my budget or what I'm willing to pay, particularly that I probably can dupe both, and I already have a very Valentine's appropriate Gourmand Girls palette that I mentioned to you all in my last video that I'm going to be using, so thanks, but no thanks. Y'all, I just noticed there's a few other things from Diaveron I did not talk about in their Smitten Kitten Valentine's collection. I have to confess, this Diaveron palette is very, very cute. Particularly that they're using cat names. Y'all know I love cats. So that's how these brands get you, y'all. They use something that you might have some emotional attachment to and make you go buy things. So I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to look from afar, appreciate all of those cat photos and cat names, and say no. Now, if I really wanted to buy something from Diaveron, it would not be the palette and not be the eyeliners because I'm not going to use those, but it's going to be the Stray Cat single multichrome. Just look at that. Alley Cat looks like one of the shades that I did a look in my Valentine's short from last year, and the shade is from Terra Moons. I'll find the short and I'll put it below, but I feel like I already have a dupe of Alley Cat, and the other two look beautiful, but I think I probably have a dupe for them. But Stray Cat, that's so pretty. Let's get into the look, and I want to do something a little different from what I'm normally do. One way this palette could have gone would be up and down each row, obviously. But we're not going to do that because that's going to be a little bit too predictable. Let's do pink to purple to green. So I'm gonna go into this one for my crease. I love this shade. I think it's from Sydney Grace, of course. And then I'm going to use this beautiful periwinkle, and I'm doing this here. Now we know periwinkle is a purple, and the other shade that I just used is also a purple. So these two can mix without me getting some odd color I was not anticipating. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my color theory series. And I'm going to bring this under like that. Yes, with a smaller but a kind of a fluffy headed brush. I'm going to go into this green. Actually, I'm going to blend these two greens. Now, green has yellow in it, which could turn this a little muddy. Again, beauties, yellow and purple are complements. So we are going to be kind of careful and just dab this here. So we don't want to blend. We want to just place it at that location to make it look like you have a lot of green there. And then I'm going to look up and I'm going to brush this along my lower lash line. Okay, beauties, this is the look so far. Let's continue with the new releases. We have this from CXC. Pretty palette, but I have these shades and you don't need a palette this size. There are repetitions in this palette that doesn't thrill me, but it's a pretty palette because I love looking at colors. And I also like the outside packaging. It's very appropriate for the Chinese New Year, beauties. And by the way, happy Chinese New Year if you celebrate. And that brings me to, I haven't seen a lot of releases for that. I mean, I love the releases and it's the year of the snake. Whatever you want to think, but I like snakes. I mean, in photos, not in my house, but in pictures. They look very sleek. We have these Lucid Dream collection of 6 holochrome singles from Cryptane. I feel like this might be the year when I'm going back to picking up some more holochromes, particularly in the genre or in the color range of reds and oranges. And I'm seeing a few in this one, so you never know. Maybe this is the collection I'm gonna consider picking up from. And of course, it makes it a lot easier to know that I don't have prices, so I can definitely say, yeah, I'm gonna go pick this up, and then I might realize it's like $20 each and decide I don't want to, or I can't afford. We also have Shop Edge Beauty with this beautiful $42 palette. I'm liking this, and this is supposed to be limited edition, and I'm liking the price, of course, because these are kind of pastel-y, so they might not look very good on me. But for someone that can do pastels, this looks pretty. Talking about Valentine's Day releases, we have this one, Daydreamer palette from Beauty Bay. And I haven't picked something up from Beauty Bay in quite some time, but at least from this photo, I don't think this palette is it. This palette looks oddly similar to the palette they released 2 or 3 years ago that was a dupe of Norvina. I think I even reviewed that palette in this channel. I'll find the review and I put it somewhere. Even if it's not an entire dupe, it has a lot of colors in common with that palette. And I probably have a dupe for the other colors. So yeah, I don't think if I buy this, it's gonna add a lot of value to my collection, but I'm excited that they're launching something because I like Beauty Bay. And they're very reasonably priced, y'all. This palette, beauties, is $22. I saw these released from Notoriously Morbid, and y'all, Notoriously Morbid, why are you doing this to me? Named after their favorite princess of power, She-Ra, and they're supposed to be shifty multichromes, and they look very, very, very pretty and fantastic for the spring. So it's great to pick these up now, and you can use it for the spring. I love the green shifts. So delicious looking, and I'm gonna scroll away before I do something I regret. Sinful Echoes is collabing with My Beauty Filled Life. This release is gonna happen on February 7th, includes a magnetic palette for $13 that fits 8 single shades and then 8 single shades that are gonna be multichromes, each for $15, or you can buy the whole bundle for $100. Now, I have a dupe for some of these singles, but I still can't deny they are gorgeous, but I'm not buying dupes. Regardless though, Very exciting. Congratulations to my beauty-filled life. This is a gorgeous collection. I love all the collections that have multichromes, of course. And it's always exciting to see new things releasing as collabs. Using a little bit of Divina's Specular right here. This shade, which is from Shine by ST, is extremely glittery and fun, but I don't want to use that. I want to use this one. This is from, I believe, Sea of Shadows, one of those collections from Divina. I tried to use my Divinas in duping this palette, so let's do this one. And this is gonna go, oh, y'all, I'm in love. And this is one of those that has the purple shift and the green shift and the blue and everything. So it's gonna go with all the other shifts in my look. I'm actually not sure if this is Mystic Cove or Sea of Shadows, but the one that has all kinds of multichromes in it. And I'm gonna go into this one. I think this one is also from Divina. I think this one is Marama, if I remember correctly. I don't know if these are still available, but if they are, I highly recommend these. These are like insane iridescent multis. And this one has like a purple shift and a green shift and a gold shift and all colors of the rainbow. Okay, beauties, the look is done. I also put a little bit of Cruel Intention from ColourPop on my cheeks. I always feel like I need to exaggerate, otherwise it doesn't show up on camera, the amount that I'm comfortable with. But I always add more so that it shows up on camera. And I put Laguna Beach from Ofra on my lips. All of these are old things I had from before, incentivizing you to use the things you have. Don't go buy new things. There is a couple more things to talk about, so let's get to it. Also, at the end of the video, I always bring the camera closer and show you this look from close up. So stick around for that. Now let's go to this one, which had me do multiple takes. Cosmic brushes, everybody. The Lovers palette. This is obviously, hence the name, their Valentine's color story, and I am liking this. Cosmic brushes. Why aren't these magnetic? This kind of a palette, if this was magnetic, I had bought it already. Although if you have Muse and Serenity and Royal Rose, you might already have this palette. There are definitely some dupes between these palettes, but it's gorgeous. And we all know Cosmic Brushes is very affordable. The only thing is they're not doing magnetic, which I'm gonna keep asking for. And I'm gonna end it with this one, the Marbles of Love collection from the Pastel Roses UK. And I know I always say no to marbles, but some of these look so dreamy. And they look extremely metallic. I don't know if it's the camera effect or they really look like that, because if they're extreme metallics, I kind of want. Evidently Pastel Roses UK also is having Valentine's Day mystery boxes. You all know how I feel about mystery boxes. If you don't know, check out my video about that. But for someone like me who does not own anything from Pastel Roses UK yet, I could always buy a mystery box to get a bunch of things to try. But if I want to pick something up, it's not going to be a mystery box. And that's it, beauties. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to write to me in the comments below what you managed to say no to this week. If you want to watch more of my to buy or not to buys, the playlist should be recommended to you on the screen about now. Have an awesome day and awesome week. And until next time, bye.